Yeah,
But
but it
even
still
for
doesn't
John
change the
Q,
argument. It's
even
still
for John Q, I agree. It is about like why are men not choosing better women to sleep with? It's just kind of like we just gonna leave
yeah,
our
because
sex to whoever
it's
gonna
still
keep who want it.
it
Well,
still
Terry,
Men are
doesn't
not
change.
protected by the
though, if that what if
But it still
Anthony
doesn't
Edwards was
change. It still
38?
doesn't
What if
change.
Anthony Edwards was 38?
It doesn't change the
And
argument.
Most men do not have children out of wedlock. That
Right.
is not
But
the majority.
it
A
doesn't
lot
change
of
the
most
argument.
men do not file for divorce. That is
Right.
not the majority.
But
Again,
that
when we having these conversations, we have to speak to the majority, not the minority. You can solve for and have every single guy, 99.9% of the population of men, not do the things that they're not supposed to do. And a 0.1% of men can populate 80% of the women. If you solving for a problem, you solve for the majority, not the minority. So if the majority of women today, because the majority of men, we know for a fact, demographics says that, or statistics say that the majority of men do not have children out of wedlock. But you be hard pressed to find a single woman above the age of 30 that does not have children out of wedlock. They're a unicorn when it's, I'm not saying that it's not you, Jazz. I know you up here, but they're a unicorn to mostly find a woman that you would want to marry above the age of 30 that does not have children out of wedlock. It's crazy. So if I'm gonna solve for the problem, I want to solve for the majority of what I see is actually where the issues lie. I'm
yeah,
gonna
but
solve it for the women that ultimately lay down with a minority of the men and get pregnant.
yeah, but it still doesn't change the argument. I don't care if you make $100 million a year, if you make $100,000 a year, or if you make $45,000 a year. If you choose the wrong woman, no matter what tier bracket you're in, if you choose the wrong woman, you'll still end up in the same position, which still means it's
No, you don't.
ultimately yes, you do. If you choose
You
the wrong
don't.
woman,
Elon must have children for fun.
you
It
so you think
matters.
do you
Listen,
think
your
that's right? Do you think that's right?
socioeconomic status
Just
matters.
because he's doing, do you think that's right?
Yeah, that's
It
pookie
doesn't
behavior.
matter if it's right or not. We're
Yes,
talking
it
It
about
does.
does.
It
It
laws
does
matters
matter.
about
in
the
the
It does
children.
United
matter.
States of America.
You're
Listen,
you're
what's
you're
right
you're
according
you're
what's
saying that.
right according to the
You're
United
saying
States of
that it's
America
part of the
today is
problem why
for a
you
woman
believe.
to man to walk in a woman's bathroom. You're
I don't agree with that.
let me tell you what's wrong with your argument, Carson. And I like you. And I like you because you're a spiritual guy. You make logical sense. And I think that you're 100% right on the majority of the things that you say. Your problem is thinking that everybody else fits in the same social construct because America is literally a melting pot. For example, you put what I agree with you on, right? Your views on spirituality as a part of your argument. However, marriage is just not singular to Christians. Marriage
No,
isn't
no,
singular to people that look at it from your social construct. So
correct,
if we're solving for a problem in society, again, we solve for the majority, not the minority.
correct. That's why I said that the argument doesn't change because do you believe this? Rather, you believe or not. Let's say I have someone who doesn't believe and someone that does believe. If they both choose the wrong woman, doesn't matter how much money they make. Do you think they can get God?
It depends on it's a lot of factors.
No, no,
Again,
no.
you
It,
can't get Elon or Future because they don't give a fuck and they rich enough not to
but
care.
but you
But
But
just
we
said
use them as
that's
an
a
example.
problem.
but you
We
just said
but
we
we
can't
use
use
them
the
as an
minority.
example. We use them as an example for how we operate in society. And what I'm
I
saying
don't because
is
you
they're
said we got to use the majority.
right.
They're
So
minorities. Do you see what I'm saying? You said we can't use the minority, so we can't use Elon Musk. Even if we using Elon Musk, I don't believe what he's doing is right. I don't care how much money he got. He's not a man to me. I don't care if he's a multi-billionaire or
what
trillionaire.
makes him
If
not
he's
a man to you?
because if you're having women, having multiple women get pregnant, you're not in your family's life as one household. You're not a true man. You're not.
Interesting.
You're not.
Well, now you're going into another whole nother territory. So
It doesn't matter how much. It doesn't
I'm gonna
matter
step
how much
outside of
money you
that.
have. If you have a whole bunch of money or a little bit of money, if you're not a part of your children's household, you're not a man to me. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's use that example, Carson. Historically, men were not in the household because they had to leave and then find resources in order to be able to take care of
No,
said
no,
family.
no, no, no. Now you're
Hold
trying to.
on, hold
I
on.
know what you're about to do. I'm gonna answer it though.
Historically, men were not in the household. They would be gone for months at a time, sometimes even years at a time. As recently as I would say the boomer generation, and even a little bit before,
Yeah.
those men would leave the South and go and seek work up north. A lot
Correct.
of times they worked in the factories and they would work there for years, get a foundation, establish it, and then they would send for the woman and the kids to come up back north. So are you saying that those guys aren't real men? Because I think you also are speaking from a privileged perspective, and that you're born in a generation at a time where men don't have to be as physical. They don't have to be outside of the house. Sometimes they can work from home. They can work 40 hours and come back home. The union created an environment where men are now able to be more into their children's lives. Historically, for hundreds of years, thousands of years, that has not been the case. So I would make the argument that men were men, more of men back then when they actually had to go and bring in resources versus the guys today that are coddled and spend all of their time around their kids, and then their kids are coming out more feminine than ever before.
No. I think you just tried to do a jump over, but I know what you're saying.
Okay.
So the reason I said I think you're trying to do a jump over the point is because that's not what I'm talking about. What you just said is still the man is a part of the household. He still has a nuclear family. He just has to go to, let's say if he lives in Texas, he just has to go from Texas to Detroit, right? To gather their resources and bring his family there. I'm not talking about those men. He's still a part of that nuclear family. What I'm talking about is you live in Detroit and you live in California. I stay here, you stay there. We're not a family at all. That's what I'm talking about. That's not a nuclear family. That's not together. If I'm going somewhere, traveling somewhere else, and I put them and I say, hey, I'm gonna stay here for about 3 years, and I'm gonna build up some wealth, and I'm gonna move y'all here. I'm still nuclear, man. I'm still nuclear.
But
all right, Carson, I got a question because
your argument was a man. Your argument wasn't nuclear. Your argument was
I said together.
Your argument was a man that is basically participatory in his children's life.
No, I said not a part of. I said not a part of his children's life.
All right, so Carson, what if the mother is keeping the child away from the man, from the guy, or from the father? Does that mean he's not a man no more?
No. That means that he should hold himself accountable that he may have chose the wrong woman.
So does that mean
because
he's not a man though?
You still slept with, at one point, that man chose to sleep with her. So if he ended up in that situation, he should look back and reflect at himself as a man, and don't look at her and say, "Why you do that to me?" He should look at her. He look at himself and say, "Maybe
but I don't think that men are."
So does that make him less of a man?
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. They're not.
But
Carson, at themselves. They're not looking at themselves.
The difficulty of it is not that men are not being held accountable, because we are.
No, they're being held accountable by others.
We've overcorrected for women so much that guys are being held accountable so much
by
that
others,
some of them we know, and they've taken paternity tests, and they're not even the child's father, but they're still required to pay child support.
I think
but if I say
accountability,
yeah, exactly,
like not being held accountable by it's like
you're still talking about the minority though.
It doesn't matter whether they're self-accountable or not.
It does matter.
Being held accountable. No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna tell you why.
In the context of this conversation, it doesn't, because they are being held accountable regardless. Either you pay child support or you go to jail.
And I'm gonna tell you what.
Child support is one of the things that you cannot get rid of in bankruptcy court, for example. Right?
Yeah, because you are
going to be held accountable no matter what. The problem, I believe, is disproportionately that women are not the ones being held accountable, nor is there anybody that can hold them accountable, because it shows, because they'll just go and have multiple different children right after that with another guy. And then when you see him even post on social media, it's a congratulations, you doing well. Do you know what the biggest sector that's blowing up in TikTok right now is?
I don't really be on TikTok, so I don't know.
Me
I'll familiarize you. It's women that have multiple children that are poor. So they can have 6, 7, check the algorithm, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. Oh my God, I got 6, 7, 8, 9 kids and I'm homeless. They blowing up. They're getting monetized immediately, and they're absolutely killing the algorithm, because it shows you that we're not holding women accountable. We're actually celebrating them.
But I can make the other argument. I can make the argument the other way. If I'm a man, right, and I see that this woman has 6 kids, why would I go give her a 7th?
Oh,
but
Carson,
you're
missing the point.
You're missing it, because she can go and get. Listen, it's not that The majority of the guys are saying that.
No, they're
They're
not, because
saying,
they're
yo,
getting
They're
pregnant.
not
pregnant.
doing
These
that.
women
They're
with
getting her
both
pregnant.
It
You
only
got her
takes
pregnant not once, not
0.1%
twice.
of the population to populate 80% of the women. You can have
That's
one guy
irrelevant.
go and fuck 20 women back to back to back in 10 days and get them all pregnant.
Okay,
So,
let me.
so how do you solve for a problem if you can get 20 women that can get pregnant by one man and then get celebrated while that man get held accountable? Are you solving for our cultural norms? Is my
But the
But do
can I
you
say
see?
something?
Do you see what I'm saying though, Anton? Would you, as a man, would you get a woman pregnant who got 4 kids already?
No, but
No.
that goes what I was
Exactly.
saying, because
Exactly.
most men already have that mentality and they saying we not fucking with these women and we not gonna get them pregnant.
Obviously, that's not true. You just used an example and said that women are blowing up having multiple children. So that doesn't.
With
The,
multiple
By
what
a
different
you're
men.
trying to
minority,
you're trying to
by
go
a
over my head.
minority
It's not gonna go
of
over
the
my head. I'm
men,
not a regular thinker.
by the
It's not gonna go over my
minority
head. I
of
understand what you're
men,
trying
there
to do.
is a small segment and most men are not even having sex.
Oh my God.
That is a fact. It is a statistical fact. The minority of men are not having sex. They are not having children out of wedlock. If a minority of men, the majority of men are not having sex, they're not having children out of wedlock. If there's a minority of men that are getting the majority of women pregnant, who do you solve for the problem with, and how do you hold them accountable? We keep saying man, 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 and that's why you start getting these more egregious child support orders. That's why you keep saying paternity since retroactive. All of that shit is for the man. That's not for women. That's not holding women accountable. When they say retroactive child support, that is holding more men accountable. Every single law that is created in family court is to address men. There is no accountability for women. If every time I say let's hold women accountable and you say but, that then removes accountability from women.
No, I mean
There
women
is no
definitely
but.
receive
There is no but when we hold men accountable.
the
It just is what it
accountability.
is.
The accountability for women is that they are often left with these children to raise alone, right?
Oh,
So
No,
they do need to be held accountable for who they breed with or who they lay down with. But I think we can't be silly and say that it's just all on the woman when these men have autonomy over their seed, over their bodies, and they can make the right decisions to avoid child support court altogether. All you have to do is be mindful. All you have to do is be a responsible adult. Both parties.
I think
Both parties. We're
Well,
not
we
saying
already
that
said
one
they need
way
to
is
be
more
held
on each
accountable
side,
already.
but I'm saying if you don't want a child and you want to have sex, you're able to do so. If you end up with a child out of wedlock, both of y'all took part in that. Both of you are responsible. But a lot of times, like you said, there's a certain type of men that's dealing with these women. These men are okay with just dropping a seed everywhere and going from woman to woman to woman.
But I
And if
also
he's
think that
okay with
women want
that, then
equality until this point.
pardon
Women
me?
want equality until this matter.
Say it
Until we
again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I say women want equality. We're advocating for equality until it comes to this subject.
And that's ridiculous because they both are playing an equal part in making
Right.
a child. And
Yeah, because
a
you can use the
child
same.
and sex doesn't always have to equate to having a child.
It
So
does.
if you're a responsible adult and you want to have casual sex, let's take the preventative measures. If a child comes into the play, there are decisions to be made. If you as a man say, yeah, I dropped my load in you, but if you had a baby, I'm out. That's you and your karma. You take that up with God. But you participated in the possibility of creating a child that you didn't even want in the first place. So
yeah.
it's just like, while the woman needs to stop having kids with multiple men because it's not an attractive thing, it shouldn't be blowing up on TikTok. That's some poverty, subset of women doing that type of stuff. But men also gotta say, hey, I need to protect myself. I don't want to be in these situations. I don't want to end up in child support. I don't want to have to walk away from a child from a woman that I didn't want to have a child with
But that's the
before.
thing, Jazz. Most men are
Yeah,
doing that. Though. Most men are doing that. That's
Okay,
what
if
we're
most men
saying.
are doing that, then why is this a big deal about child support?
Because
no,
it's a
Anton,
small majority of
I think
men that everybody's talking about. That's what we're talking
Why
about.
though? If it's a
What
small
do you mean
majority,
why?
then
Yeah,
if
because y'all are making it a big deal. Prime example. Let's use the Anthony Edwards situation, right? See
who's
how
that?
he was held accountable, right?
Who's that?
30, the shorty Aisha, she's 38 years old. She already knew he had multiple kids already, but she still decided to lay down with him and have a kid with him. but
Yeah.
nobody's holding her accountable. They're holding Anthony Edwards accountable, but he's already being held accountable already. That's the
okay.
point.
And,
No.
He's
okay,
a small minority of men that's doing it though.
but wait,
When
is
we already-
Anthony Edwards?
I've seen a lot of women holding her accountable.
Yeah,
though,
I was just
talking
gonna
about how
say.
she was a
I think-
predator. Like
Yeah,
a lot
she
of
was a
women
I use
predator.
that as
She
an
preyed
example.
on
I use
him.
that as an example.
But isn't
that
Anthony Edwards also?
no-
Isn't he a guy of a certain caliber? Isn't he a guy of a certain high standard and high
But
value?
you still got
But to
Pookies
me,
and Ray
that-
Rays who ain't even at that caliber, who's
That
still
man is a
impregnating all of
4-time
these
baby
women.
daddy
But what I'm saying is he's a 4-time baby father.
in 1
Where's the
year.
And you
accountability
got
there?
Pookies and Ray Rays that got 6 and 7 kids.
So what?
And
Yes.
ladies are still having babies. Ladies are still having babies.
I have 6
Same
kids.
guy.
I'm not gonna let you hate on the Pookies.
So
and
all
Rays.
I'm saying is that both parties are acting reckless. That's all I'm saying. Like this man is a 4-time baby father. You're saying that all those women forced him to be that? He didn't
I
have.
think we have to stop making the conversation. We have to start making it a parallel to one another instead of an interchange. Like it's like
a minority. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like who's responsible, you or you or you? It's two separate lanes, and like Jess is saying, I'm sorry, Jazz. Like Jazz is saying, it's two parallel lanes. So I'm gonna take accountability for the part I played, and then I'm gonna take accountability for the part I played. But it seems that there's an imbalance, as we can see, and
I wanted to
imbalance is what needs to be corrected.
I wanted to clarify.
Let's just advocate for safe sex.
Well, Mike,
Let's go back to abstinence to the 100%.
Yeah, let's wait till marriage. You know what I mean? Like
just wear condoms and you'll
just
be
wear
fine.
condoms.
But I
Be
can
safe,
honestly
be
say, like,
smart,
men
be responsible.
don't
What's
make
wrong with
men wear
that?
condoms. There's probably one woman that's made me wear a condom in the last 10 years.
Who did what?
That's it.
Wait,
but we're
she
talking
gotta
about
make you, or
mutual.
do you want to? Do you want to, or do you need to make you?
Full disclosure, I have a
that's
clean penis. I go to the doctor, but there's been one woman in 10 years, and she said, "No, nigga,
Oh, you messing
do that
with the wrong
motherfucker
kind of
over
ladies.
to me."
But see,
and was
that's
like,
what
"You won't."
And you should walk away every time. You
That's
should
what I
walk
wanted
away every
to
time.
clarify.
That's another thing. If these women are saying no, we don't need to use a condom, and you got shit to lose, walk away from that girl. She's obviously looking to come up on you. She's obviously looking to attach herself to you to some degree. Walk away from that whore. You know what I'm saying? Like you're better than that. Like protect your seed.
No, you know what? I don't know. For me personally, the conclusion that I came to is that y'all gonna talk shit about us anyway.
Facts.
Fuck it. We going on tour this summer. We fucking everything.
Everything, nigga, knocking them down and busting that on y'all thigh.
You gonna be fucking everything, Anton? That's what you gonna do.
I'm going on a revenge tour. So
revenge on who? You getting revenge on?
Clarify.
All you niggas in the chat and y'all fucking wives and girlfriends.
Everybody that's blackity black.
Oh my god.
They don't want you.
If they girl choosing, it's the name of the tour is called the I Choose You Too tour. So if they choose,
it sounds super corny.
That's cool. I'm gonna show you how corny it is.
But why? How are you, as a married man, about to go on a fucking spree?
I just said that I'm going on a revenge tour.
To have sex with other women's or other men's wives and
but
girlfriends.
this is
why
what
do you have your own wife?
It's called the I Choose You tour, and so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just see what happens.
So you're advocating for people to cheat in a marriage? You?
Yeah. I didn't advocate for it. I said me and Quentin and Slimmy. And,
these are men.
Might as well add 2K in there too. Then
I gotta get permission for 2K. Me, Quentin, and Slimmy, we going on tour this summer, and we just gonna see what and Mont.
Yep.
To have sex with wives and girls.
Mont's a 4-time baby daddy.
Mont, yeah.
Nigga, leave my nigga Mont alone. I'm coming up. I'm gonna have 2
Oh my god! So is this like all baby daddies in one married man group tour? Like,
well, I'm gonna see who else could be a part of the crew.
But this is what I wanted to clarify, because Anton, I don't disagree with you that men are held accountable outside of themselves, right? But what I'm speaking to is something different than just monetary things. What I'm speaking to is character, right? And I think a lot of men lack character nowadays. That's the issue. If you don't have any character as a man, you know what I'm saying? Like for me personally, I I would never say certain things. Well, I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman. But for me as a man, I wouldn't say certain things as a man because I have certain character about myself. I wouldn't say certain things to people online or say certain things to people in person or say certain things to people I'm speaking to or trying to do business with because I have a certain character about myself. And I think that that's what we lack as men nowadays is we don't have character. And if you don't have character and look at yourself in the mirror and don't hold yourself accountable, it doesn't matter how many times I try to motivate you. If I say you can do it, but you don't believe you can do it, right? It won't ever matter. So the man needs to look at himself also, even though he's being held accountable by the courts, he needs to look at himself and say, it was my fault.
Are y'all married? You and
Yeah, this is my wife. Yes, this is my wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
No. Listen, you
Y'all
gotta
are a beautiful couple.
you gotta talk to me when she not here because you tainted.
Oh, the
that's
Carson.
disrespectful.
I didn't know they
No,
were
trust-
That's so
together.
disrespectful. Why you
No,
think
it's
everybody's
not-
lying?
He's not.
It's
Why
not.
you
This
think
how he
everybody's
always
lying
talk,
because they don't say
y'all.
what you want to
No,
Always.
hear?
I don't
Everybody's
change.
not
I don't change my
lying.
kid. I don't change. My
Nobody said that he was lying.
So
No,
why
I
would
know.
he change up just because she's not
I
here?
know. I know what he means. Like
Men
sometimes
talk differently.
Yeah, we talk
when
differently.
their girl is not around. That's
Yeah,
it.
we talk certain ways when we sit around
But he
men,
seemed like
but
he'll
Thank
have the
you.
same
He just told you
character.
out of his
but
own mouth.
yes, that is
But
very
his
true.
character will still say the
But
same. He'll still be
exactly
respectful.
I will
You
speak
don't have
to
to speak for
homies.
him. He already
Yeah,
said that men talk differently when they women ain't around.
I will speak to my homies differently and my male counterparts differently than I will if I'm around other women, but my character will never change.
Right. That's what
That's
I meant.
cool. Well, listen. We'll see.
See?
It's like
We'll see.
barbershop.
It's the reason why all of the guys is laughing because we know what's happening. And
So
but
y'all
no,
give
Are
me
any
advice.
are any of the
no,
are
no, no.
any
I
of the
think
other
that
guys
you're a good
besides
guy.
you married? Are
I
any of
think
the
that
other
you're a
guys
good.
besides
No,
you
no,
on the
no. I
panel
really
married?
do think that you're a good guy. And honestly, I will vote for you for Congress. I will vote for you for governor.
I'm
I
dead.
think that you are a great representation of what a man is supposed to be. I will never take that away from you.
Facts.
But I just,
He
I want
really
to,
is.
I want to
Yes.
kick it with you when
He
time.
really is.
No, I would talk to you the same way. I just may, take my jacket off, kick back a little bit more, but I'm still gonna be me.
I like
You know
that.
what I
I like
mean? I'm
I
still
know, I
gonna
like
be
that.
myself.
Listen, I'm an advocate for family. I think that you guys are awesome. I love it. I absolutely think it's awesome, and I think that's dope. I'm
Advocate for family. You just say you
And
was on
I'll
Twitter.
give you
You
a little
sort
bit
of
of
I don't.
talk.
I
context.
don't. I
I
don't
think
condone what Anton says about sleeping around. I'm looking for
He
wife.
said he
and
advocates for
and
family,
I'm
but just say he going
and
on a
I'm not going
vacation
to take part of the.
why.
Quentin just texted me and said I can't wait to go on
Make
tour
that
in
one make
June.
sense.
Quentin
I
literally just
can't.
texted me and said I can't wait to go on tour.
Yeah, I can't steer away from
He
Y'all-
literally just texted me. I'm looking at his text message right now.
yeah. No, I can't steer away
2025 is gonna be
from the
fucking
things
wild. That's what it
that I
says.
believe in just because of the
Did
simple
you already
fact
make
that
it the
I know
route?
that
Huh?
Carson, would you go on
Did you
tour
already
with
make it
them?
the route for the I Choose
No.
You tour?
First
Why
stop,
would you go on
DC.
tour with them?
You see, he already know.
you said what?
DC on the 28th. The first stop is gonna be DC.
I asked him, as I said, I
28th
asked
of this
Carson,
month?
would he go on tour with
No,
them?
June.
That's
June.
next week. Oh,
You gonna be there, Q?
That's her birthday.
that's my birthday weekend. I'm not about to be with y'all, man.
Why you gonna be there? That's your
Please
birthday
don't.
weekend?
It's my birthday weekend, June 23rd.
You might have to push the tour back if Q can't make that day.
Facts.
I need to be there, man. Y'all
we
man got it.
We're gonna push it back a week. No, let me
That's
see. We
why
might
the
have to move
4th is the
the-
next week.
We might have
4th
to
of
move it up.
July.
We might have to move the date up or something like that.
Because y'all's anniversary is in July.
No, that's not true.
It's in June.
It's in June. That's
It's
correct.
in June.
Q, I'll pay you to come.
No, I'm not about to spend my birthday weekend with y'all.
How much I got to pay
Oh,
you to
hold
come?
on. We be fucking lit when we be together.
Why do I want to be a bunch with y'all men? No thanks.
You always
how
hang
much-
with us.
How much
Yeah,
you
but
cost,
not
Q?
on my
How much?
birthday weekend. I can hang with y'all on the regular weekends, but not my birthday weekend. I want to be on a beach somewhere, tanned out, not here in Clinton.
When we got to figure out when we gonna start the tour.
I got some
Why
vacation
DC?
time.
Why
I
y'all
ain't,
wanna go
I, ain't,
DC?
I, ain't, I ain't been out in a minute. I got some
I'm
vacation.
so glad. I was just about to put it in the Patreon too. I'm gonna wait now.
Jazz, do you ever go out with them?
Absolutely not.
We need to get Jazz. I need to come pick you
Yeah,
up.
but
Jazz,
honestly, I
Jazz,
never.
don't
We've hung
Jazz,
out
Jazz.
with Cameron and her husband. We've hung out
Yeah,
with Cameron and her husband.
I've never I've never been invited. And
Right, exactly. Just leave.
There's
leave
no
me out.
invite.
She
Everybody
has
in the
been
Patreon
on
is
the
invited.
platform
No,
so
please,
much.
please,
We had a
leave me out.
Hold
Leave me
on. You
out.
have to be part of the Patreon. So whoever's
Leave me
in
out.
Anton's Patreon Kim and her husband came. Last meetup, we had a great meetup.
Nice.
Yeah, so you got
This one is gonna be different though. This one is gonna be a lot different.
Oh, this is after hours.
what
I
does
gotta
that
hop on
mean?
after hours to get the details.
Yeah, this one be
Mm.
this one
I'm
be
gonna hop on
different.
tomorrow night for a little bit.
What's going to be different about it?
Well,
Huh?
I need to catch
we
it
gotta
after
talk about that
hours.
offline. Because I don't feel like getting criticized by Jazz.
That's true.
Who am I?
Nothing on Jasmine.
Who am I? I'm nobody.
Wait,
where's the next meetup?
They just said DC.
Oh, DC.
I thought you was going to the West Coast, Anton. I thought you were going to take it to
Gotta
Cali.
come
Or
to
something.
Not
AZ,
in
bro.
June.
Gotta come to AZ, bro.
I don't know why you worry about me. Can't nobody
It's
criticize you,
hot
especially
DC
me.
in June. It's scorcher.
You said
It's
where?
humid.
AV? Who said AV?
No, AZ, Arizona,
Nobody
Arizona.
want to go no Arizona.
Hey, man,
100
listen,
weather.
it's hey, look, it get lit out here, man. Stop playing.
Not in June. That's gonna be too
Well,
hot.
yeah, all right, yeah, that's a fact.
I just want to say that I know everybody on this panel. All of us can get 1% better.
I
That's
agree.
a fact.
See, we gotta make this guy a candidate for
Congress.
Senator.
I'm gonna put my money behind him.
Mhm. Y'all are in Texas too, right? Carson? I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Texas.
we're in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in
Dallas?
Texas.
I'm gonna put my
You're
money
in your
behind
favorite
him.
Yeah.
city, Antoine. Your
We
favorite
gonna have
Texas
him. We gonna have him making laws and shit.
You're gonna be the mayor of Dallas.
Yeah, we gonna have him making
Y'all gonna
laws.
want to live wherever he.
We gonna set him aside. We gonna protect him, and then
at all costs.
You like
Yeah,
Dallas?
we
Anton
gonna-
like Dallas. That's why.
Mm.
Dallas is dope. I love Dallas.
Yeah, if y'all wanna,
I'll
if
be
you,
in Dallas.
if you wanna make money, you can come to Dallas. Dallas, you can make money.
They love me in Dallas. I'm always in Dallas.